Hello everybody, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and a mental health educator and a depression survivor, last I checked anyway. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. Title of today's talk is, I would rather have physical pain than mental pain. Before I explain why, we have to go with our normal joke. And here in the United States, the jobs report recently came out and we're at our all-time low for unemployment claims, but there are still people looking for work. And this reminds me of something I heard the other day, and the question is, why is it so easy for an elephant to get a job? Well, he'll work for peanuts. Kind of like that. All right, so again, the title of today's video is, I'd rather have physical than mental pain. So why do I say this? Well, as we know, those of us who've been following this channel, I've said many times that depression, or healing from depression recovery, doesn't go upward in a straight line. It has its ups and its downs. Right now, I've been in a down period, a number of reasons for this. First, fall is always challenging for me. I grieve the end of summer. Then also during this period of time between September and the end of the year, I've had 4 of my breakdowns, so a little bit of PTSD. And to make matters even worse, about a week ago, I fell off my bike in an accident and re-aggravated an injury to my left hip. So I was feeling pretty blue, but then something really cool happened. I got a call from the Unity Church Worldwide headquarters in Missouri, and they asked me to submit a proposal to do a webinar on healing from depression and anxiety so they could reach some of their students. And of course, depression and anxiety are becoming much more prevalent these days. And I've been a member of Unity. It's a part of a movement called New Thought Spirituality for quite some time. I love its teachings. And so this gave me the opportunity to do something again that I've always loved to do, and that is to write and to teach. A few days later, I woke with above average hip pain, but that was counterbalanced by my anticipation of continuing my writing. And then I thought to myself, I would rather have physical pain than mental pain. Now, why is this so? Well, there's something about the mental emotional pain, specifically of depression, that's particularly hellish. I remember the novelist William Styron said to his daughter right on the eve of his hospitalization, I would rather have my arm cut off without anesthesia than going through what I'm going through now. Later on, when he wrote his memoir, Darkness Physical, he said that depression was like a howling tempest in the brain. And later on in the book, he wrote the following. It is not an immediately identifiable pain like the pain of a broken limb. It may be more accurate to say that despair comes to resemble the diabolical discomfort of being imprisoned in a fiercely overheated room. And because no breeze stirs this cauldron, it is entirely natural that the victim begins to think ceaselessly of oblivion. The part of this description that aroused my curiosity were the words, it is not an immediately identifiable pain like that of a broken limb. Now, those of us who took high school biology may remember a diagram showing a pain pathway where you prick your finger like this, ouch! And then the nerve sends a signal to the brain interprets it as pain, and then it sends a signal back and you retract your finger. Fortunately, science has now found substances that can numb the nerve on the skin and block the pain from going to the brain. This is why when I recently had my right toenail removed by a podiatrist with the pliers, whoosh, I could hardly feel the pain at all because he had injected my toe with a 2% solution of lidocaine. Ironically, this is the exact same solution that my dentist used when he fills my cavities. And actually, I remember now when I went to the dentist last time, I asked the secretary, why does Dr. Schopenhauer seem depressed? She replied, well, he's always looking down in the mouth. But what kind of anesthetic can block the pain of hopelessness and despair? What exactly is going on in the nervous system in the brain that creates the experience of inner hell? Well, unfortunately, neuroscientists have not identified those pain pathways yet because the brain is complex and those pathways are infinitely complex, much more so than the pathways that go from the skin to the brain. So in the meantime, people who with mental illnesses don't get as much sympathy as people with physical ones because the source of their pain is invisible and nobody can really see it. Perhaps one day, neuroscientists will be able to map out the electrochemical system behind emotional pain, just as they have done so with physical pain. Then they could develop the perfect anesthetic that they could use that could take away your emotional suffering. Now, even if this only lasted for 20, 25 minutes, it would still give you a respite from hell. And those respites, maybe once a day, would give you the, what can we say, the relief that you could hang in there one day at a time until at last the healing that you seek comes around. I want to end with a caveat. By doing this video, I don't want to minimize the pain, the chronic pain that many people experience, the chronic physical pain. There is a kind of physical pain that is only minimally impacted by painkillers. And this can lead to a lot of suffering over a period of time. The good news is that my brother, who suffers from this chronic pain, did a workshop in Florida sponsored by the Mayo Clinic, and they taught him certain coping strategies that would decrease the frequency and intensity of the physical pain. And guess what? They're the same coping strategies that we teach on this channel: diet, exercise, sleep, positive thinking, etc. So the moral of the story is there's always something you can do to improve your mood. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did so, give it a like, or you can also email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. I also wanted to let you know, as many of you do know, that I have started a long-distance mental health coaching service. If you would like to see what it's like, just look at the URL on your screen. If you want to subscribe to this channel, simply click on my photo during the closing credits. You'll be taken to that page. And if you would like to contribute to this channel and become a sustaining member, simply click on the image of Patreon. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you for watching.